Welcome to Football Scientific. I'm Aaron Sauter, writer for FootballAnalysisOne.com, CFLNewsHub.com, and UFLNewsHub.com. It's been a busy few days of professional football, and the Indiana Hoosiers won their first ever college football national championship. They won some basketball national championships, but they never won a college football national championship, which is crazy for Curt Cignetti. I'm not a fan, but some people are. I am the professor of football science. We're going to go through the news and notes from the UFL, CFL, and NFL for the last few days. There's a lot to go over. Yesterday was a busy day of writing. There was a lot of news coming out, rapid fire. And since I don't necessarily get paid for the YouTube videos, I do focus a lot more on the writing. Okay. I will also say that we're on TikTok and we're going off live on TikTok after this show here. After I load this video on YouTube, we're going to go live and go over a lot of this same stuff. Just because I get more funding off of TikTok. So check that out if you're interested. And if you're not, then whatever. Okay. Just keep enjoying this on YouTube. I'm going to keep making YouTube videos as well. So here we go. Although I will say we have some different content on TikTok. It's different stuff, okay? So it's worth checking out. All right, boom. Let's go over this news, but first let's talk to my co-host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger here, ready to go. We're getting ready to talk about NFL news. There's a lot of it, like coaching changes and football games being played and stuff, and CFL and UFL. We're going to talk about all of it, okay? But first, W Energy is our sponsor. Check out W Energy. Remember, there you'll see an order link and a promo code, Football Scientific, all the caps, no spaces, to get 10 to 40% off your order if you use our link and our promo code, okay, to buy your W Energy and your needs. If you're a gamer or whatever, you want to have energy without being angsty, well, check us out, okay? We got plenty of stuff to talk about those, so let's break it down. Let's break it down. Here we go. All right, thanks, Tyler the Tiger. First, Sunday, we went through on Sunday morning the outcomes of the divisional playoffs on Saturday. We didn't go over the Sunday ones. Now, if you're a football fan, you've already know what this stuff is. But I do like to, for my own good, for my own conversation piece, to look at the games that were played. And I write articles about that. I wrote an article about the most critical stat for every team in divisional playoffs. That should have been published this morning. So you can read that. And that comes from a lot of this analysis. So this analysis to me is very important, while it might not be that important to other people. Okay, so Houston Texans at New England Patriots. C.J. Stroud came in, went 20 for 47, 212 passing yards, 1 touchdown. 4 interceptions. Ouch. That's all in the first half, too. That was a disastrous first half for C.J. Stroud. 4 interceptions, 1 for a defensive touchdown. Oh, that's bad. In case you don't know, Woody Marks had 14 runs for 17 yards. Run game got shut down. 0 touchdowns, 1 fumble. Christian Kirk had 2 catches, 20 yards, 1 touchdown. Did not get Christian Kirk going. I mentioned in our analysis of that game, if you wanted to win that game, Houston, you had to get Woody Marks and Christian Kirk going to make that happen, okay? And it did not happen. Put it on C.J. Stroud, and he crumbled. They did get 5 quarterback sacks, which is because of Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. They are great pass rushers. They continue to be great pass rushers whether they win or lose. New England, Drake May went 16 for 27, 179 yards. I got a little burpee there. 179 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Ramondre Stevenson had 16 runs, 70 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Keyshawn Booty had 3 catches, 75 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 sacks for the New England Patriots defense. Basically, man, the Patriots dominated this game. I mean, Drake May did fumble the ball 4 times because the weather was crappy. It was snow and sleet, and it was looking rough out there. He did fumble it, but the mistakes the Texans made were much worse in comparison to Drake May's mistakes. Although Drake May made a lot of them. That could be a chink in his armor for the next round here or Super Bowl. Not saying they're going to go Super Bowl, but it's looking like it. Okay. Either way, Patriots really dominated the game, but their offense kept the Texans in it for a while until the end there. So not surprising, New England wins 28-16. Okay. Then we had the LA Rams and Chicago Bears. Crazy game. These playoffs have had a lot of crazy games, and this is one of them. Matthew Stafford came out and went 20 for 42 for 258 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's not a great game for Matthew Stafford, man. 0 touchdowns, interceptions. But that 0 interceptions is critical to that stat line. Kyron Williams, their running back, had 21 runs for 87 yards, 2 touchdowns and a fumble. That's important in a bad weather game. That was another snowy game. Field looked frozen, honestly. Puka Nacua, 5 catches, 56 yards, 0 touchdowns. Not a great day for him because it wasn't a great day to pass the ball, man. 0 sacks for the LA Rams defense. They tried to sack Caleb Williams. They just couldn't get it. Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams went 23 for 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Now that's critical because this game ended in overtime because of an interception for Caleb Williams. That set up a game-winning field goal for the Rams. Spoiler alert. DeAndre Swift, 19 runs, 76 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 fumbles. DJ Moore, 5 catches, 52 yards, 1 touchdown. And they had 4 sacks. They had more sacks than the Rams did, okay? But what happened in this game? Well, what really happened is the Rams just came out and played a more efficient game on offense. The Bears played a flashier game. They attacked the game. They didn't get down big like they've been doing. I figured that would be a recipe for disaster. But they did come out and attack. And unfortunately, while they got some touchdowns, they made some mistakes. The Rams just beat them through a million cuts. You know, death by a million cuts. Kind of like the old Patriots used to beat people. And that's what happened to the Bears. Now, the Bears did. They were down 17-10 with like a minute left in the game. Caleb Williams ran backwards from the pursuit, like maybe 15 yards back. It looked disastrous, man. Look, he's going to take like a 15-yard loss. He just whips the ball up. Cole Kmet catches it. Touchdown, of course, overtime. But then he threw an interception to Cam Curl in overtime, which set up the Rams' game-winning field goal. And they win in overtime 20-17. It felt a lot like the Bills game, honestly. A lot like the Bills game against Denver. So that sets up our AFC and NFC championship games. 3 p.m. on Sunday, we got New England Patriots at Denver Broncos. And then NFC championship game, 6:30 p.m., we got LA Rams and Seattle Seahawks. Okay? Got it. Boom. Then a bunch of news throughout the week because of coaching hires. So Cleveland Browns request a second interview with former Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken. Miami Dolphins will interview Kelvin Shepard. Doesn't matter because they hired a coach. It's not him. The Tennessee Titans, they interviewed Jeff Hafley. But guess what? Since we last talked, Tennessee has found their coach. Okay, they found their coach. Not going to share that yet. New York Giants, former New York Giants head coach Brian Dable is expected to interview with the Philadelphia Eagles. Denver Broncos. Okay, this is the big news. Bo Nix broke his ankle in the last play of that game against the Bills, and he's done for the year. So Jarrett Stidham's going to get his first start of the season against the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. That's pretty crazy. Cleveland Browns request a second interview for their head coaching position with Jaguars OC Grant Udinski. In person this time. They might still be looking to hire him, I guess. Denver Broncos signed veteran quarterback Ben DiNucci to be a backup for Jarrett Stidham to their practice squad. He's going to end up being activated to be a backup to fill in for Jarrett Stidham since Bo Nix is done. Tennessee Titans moved up. They moved up their in-person interview with 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. Why? Because they hired Robert Saleh. They want to hire him before someone else could jump in there. So they had some finalists, Matt Nagy, Jeff Hafley, Robert Saleh. But Robert Saleh has been hired by the Tennessee Titans, 5-year contract for him. So let's circle that one. Okay, I'm not circling that yet. Miami Dolphins, they're bringing in... Well, they look interested in Joe Brady for the head coaching position, but that's not true. They hired Jeff Hafley, in case you don't know already. Philadelphia Eagles, this was the problem waiting for these things, but I got pretty busy, man, writing. Philadelphia Eagles interim Dolphins season passing game coordinator Bobby Slowick is coming in to interview for their OC position. It didn't happen. He may have interviewed, but it didn't happen. 15th. Okay, this would be the 15th year where we have the Patriots or Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. That's depressing, isn't it? 15th year. That's crazy. Boom, 15th straight year. Boom. Let's see. Oh, Chicago. Nope, not Chicago. Cleveland Browns, they interviewed Rams passing game corner Nate Scheelhaas for their head coaching position. No answers on that. I guess I haven't heard anything about that. That might be something interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm just circling the important news. I'm going to go over that stuff again. All right. Las Vegas Raiders, they interviewed... They have a scheduled interview. Several coaches yesterday interviewed former Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. Tuesday, they're going to interview this morning. Probably already did. Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. Although they're Vegas, so they probably haven't yet. And in Carolina, Panthers DC Giro Avero. And then Wednesday, Packers DC Jeff Heavily. Not anymore. He got hired by the Dolphins. LA Rams. OC Mike LaFleur and DC Chris Shula, they're getting offers to do head coaching interviews, but they both have to wait now since they made it to the AFC Championship or NFC Championship game, so they have to wait to make those. Jaguars DC Anthony Campanile is getting interviewed for the Packers head coaching job. Boom. Buffalo Bills. Head coach Sean McDermott fired yesterday. That was the big news in the morning. I wrote an article about that. I wrote 2 articles about the Buffalo Bills. One was, what are the takeaways from the divisional playoff games? And one of them was that it seemed like the Sean McDermott era was over. And then the next day, right after that, published honestly, it was announced that the Sean McDermott era was over. And that's pretty interesting. So, I mean, we got that going on. So here's my top 5 candidates to replace Sean McDermott. I heard the Buffalo Bills fans are mad, and the team's mad, and everyone's mad they fired Sean McDermott. But come on, man. He had 7 years with the Patriots, and 5 of them the Patriots were down. To make a run to the Super Bowl, you couldn't do it, bro. You couldn't do it. And you kept blaming things. Referees and excuses, man, make for losers. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with that. Excuses make for losers, and I'm not a big fan of that. So, yeah, I'm one of the few Buffalo Bills fans that's like, see you, man, you lost your chance. So here's who I do like. My top pick was Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin would be a great fit for the Buffalo Bills. Defensive coach. We can keep Joe Brady. We can keep Josh Allen happy. He hasn't had a good quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger. No offense to Aaron Rodgers, but there's a offense there. He's no longer a good quarterback. Next, I like Joe Brady if they can't get Mike Tomlin. He has the relationship with Josh Allen. While I don't necessarily like his offense, he does put up points with it as long as Josh Allen's healthy. It's very Josh Allen heavy, though. Number 3, Clint Kubiak. I like his offense better than Joe Brady's, but he doesn't have that existing relationship. And if we're bringing in Clint Kubiak, we're going to lose Joe Brady. So I don't think that's a good deal. Number 4, Brian Flores is a great fit for Minnesota, although Minnesota wants to keep him as DC. But if he gets a chance to go be a head coach at Buffalo, I think he'll do a really good job. And we need to have our defense retooled, and he's got to do that kind of stuff. And then Mike McDaniel, he's out there. He's an offensive guy. I mean, you're going to lose Joe Brady, and you're going to get a guy smoking THC pen on the sideline. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't like his vibe overall. That's the thing. I don't like Mike McDaniel's vibe overall. All right, Kansas City Chiefs, they request permission to interview Eric Bieniemy for their OC job. Sounds like they're going to hire him for that job too. Matt Nagy's out of a job, man. Because he's interviewing for a head coaching job. They thought he was going to get offered by the Tennessee Titans, but he's not. So now Matt Nagy's done, man. You put your neck out there for interviews, and next thing you know, Eric Bieniemy's got his job back, and you're done, Matt Nagy. Is someone going to hire him? I hope not. I found him annoying with the Bears. He just didn't know how to get stuff done. Atlanta Falcons, they have chosen to keep defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich on Kevin Stefanski's staff. Yeah, because he doesn't know what he's doing, so he's keeping the parts that worked out pretty well. Someone said that was Raheem Morris's defense, but now Jeff Ulbrich's taking responsibility for that. So I guess we'll see what happens. Tennessee Titans have agreed to meet Mike Macdonald for head coaching position. Yeah, it didn't work out for Mike Macdonald there. Mike McDaniel, sorry, Mike McDonald's the Seattle Seahawks coach, but Mike McDaniel didn't work out. Robert Sala's getting that job. Cincinnati Bengals extend tight end Tanner Hudson, okay, to a 1-year extension. That's something. Okay, so they liked what he was doing this year. Although I wasn't overly impressed with Tanner Hudson, but they figured they'd extend him. Okay, Seattle Seahawks. Running back Zach Charbonnet is out with a torn ACL. We knew he left again with an injury. Mike McDonald made it sound like he thought he was going to come back, but he's not going to come back. He's got an ACL tear. He's done. Surgery will be required. Las Vegas Raiders request permission to interview Clay Kubiak, the offensive coordinator in the 49ers, for their coaching position. That would be, I'd take Clint Kubiak over Clay Kubiak. I don't think that 49ers offense is Kubiak's, man. It's Kyle Shanahan's. He's just running it for him. He may not even call the plays, honestly. Okay, all right. Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to do an interview with Mike McDaniel. He might get a job sometime. I can't guarantee it. I don't know. I guess they probably wouldn't mind him smoking THC. You can smoke pot in Las Vegas. Not that I've done it, but I've seen some people do it. And Mike McDaniel will fit right in Las Vegas probably. Detroit Lions are they're going to hire Arizona Cardinals former offensive coordinator Drew Petzing to run their offense. He's their new OC. I don't know if I like that hire or not. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals offense was all that, but they may also be because of lack of personnel. I just don't think it was all that. Denver Broncos, they're opening the practice window for running back J.K. Dobbins. They thought he was out for the season with a foot injury, but they've played so long now, it seems like he might be able to come back. Pittsburgh Steelers are scheduled to meet Brian Flores for their head coaching job and Mike McCarthy. I've heard people say Mike McCarthy can't get that job because he doesn't get along with Aaron Rodgers, and that's true. He stopped getting along with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I think they're expecting Aaron Rodgers to bounce anyway. Let's see. Although they say they want to keep him, I think they're expecting him to bounce. LA Chargers, they asked for an interview with Arthur Smith for their OC position. Well, welcome LA Chargers. You got a boring offense now. You've always had a boring offense there, so sure, man. Hire Arthur Smith. Boring offense. Miami Dolphins. They're hiring former defense coordinator. Yeah, Miami Dolphins are hiring former defense coordinator Jeff Hafley for their head coaching position, and they brought down a GM from Green Bay Packers. So I mean, they got some continuity. It looks like they're trying to be Green Bay Packers South. I'm not sure how I feel about that either. But I mean, I hate the Dolphins, so let the Dolphins do what they do, I guess. NFL, Cleveland Browns. They've done a second interview, or they're doing a second interview with defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz to be their head coach. Not the move I would make, but I would keep Jim Schwartz and bring in an offensive guy to blow that thing up. You already have Jim Schwartz in his defense. Why do you need to add more to that? I don't know. Lincoln Riley would be my first pick. He's getting pressure on it because Curtis Signetti won the national championship at IU, showing that Lincoln Riley does not have the championship bone. I would hire him with the Cleveland Browns. Get him out of that situation. New York Giants, they request to interview Vikings passing coordinator Deronte Jones for their defense coordinator position. So John Harbaugh's trying to get Vikings passing game defense coordinator to come out to the New York Giants. They wasn't making a phone call. Why are they making a phone call, All right, I don't know. Jeff Hafley gets a 5-year deal with the Dolphins. Seems like everyone's getting 5-year deals. NFL must be your standard contract nowadays. Tennessee Titans are working to finalize a deal with Robert Saleh for a 5-year contract. Like I said, it sounds like that's the standard contract now, is this 5-year contract. Yeah. And then Atlanta Falcons have hired Bill Callahan as their new offensive line coach. Okay. So they hired Bill Callahan. He's an old school guy. He's all right. Boom. CFL transactions. Calgary Stampeders signed American linebacker R.J. Moten yesterday. They signed American wide receiver Eric Brooks. Toronto Argonauts were very busy yesterday. They released American defensive lineman Ricky Carrera. They signed American running back Peyton Logan. They signed American defensive lineman Dwayne Hendricks back with the Toronto Argonauts. They signed global defensive lineman Soan Toya. They released American defensive back Brandon Dozier. They released American defensive back Darius Bratton. Okay, BC Lions signed American offensive lineman Corey Woodruff. And they signed national linebacker Isaiah Guzliak-Messon. And they signed American linebacker Jeff Haladik. And Montreal Alouettes signed American wide receiver Phillip Brooks. And Montreal Alouettes signed American wide receiver Tariq Owens, who's the son of Terrell Owens. That's pretty cool. I mean, Terrell Owens, great receiver. Tariq Owens, never heard of him. But whatever. Saskatchewan Rough Riders, they signed American defensive lineman Desmond Evans. They signed American quarterback Jack Cohn, who played horrible quarterback for the San Antonio Brahmas back in their first XFL season. They signed national wide receiver Kean Schaefer-Baker, who's a very good receiver for them. Good to see Kean Schaefer-Baker. And he's got a fun name, Kean Schaefer-Baker. It's a lot that's going on there. Winnipeg Blue Bombers signed American defensive back Michael Griffin II, and they signed American kicker Sergio Castillo. They signed national offensive lineman Patrick Neufeld. They signed global punter Jamison Sheehan. They signed American defensive back Brian Addison. They signed national wide receiver Gavin Cobb. Edmonton Elks, they signed American defensive back Ian Kennelly. A lot of movement from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And then the Hamilton Tiger-Cats re-signed offensive lineman Jacob Zott, continuing to reinvest in our offensive line, which is a good call. Although I'm not convinced Zott's all that good. He's bounced around CFL a little bit. They've used him before. And then they signed what I consider to be controversial wide receiver Trajan Bridges. CFL says he's coming from Central Arkansas, but last time he played college football was at Oklahoma in 2019, 2020. Yeah, that's like 6 years ago. Why is that? Because he had assault, robbery, and gun issues that did not turn into charges. But then Oklahoma kicked him off the team. Boop. And he disappeared for a while. Then I guess he's popping back up on his scouting reports as being a Central Arkansas Bear, but they don't have any stats for him, so that seems real sus. Real suspicious, that is, for those that don't speak the lingo. And then UFL, Houston Gamblers, added defense coordinator Marvin Sanders. Okay, so that catches us up on the pro football news, mainly in the NFL, but a little bit CFL and UFL. We'll come back soon with some more news once some more things happen. We're going to load this video up, and then we're going to jump on TikTok and do maybe an hour of live, if I can handle that, and just talk about these news and just kind of ramble off about those things. You can check us out live every day. What time exactly? It's hard to say. I'm gonna do a morning window, afternoon window. It looks like, and then maybe an evening window, just to hit all my demographics. Trying to hit everything we can, get as many likes and whatever we views and stuff we can on Football Scientific. We are blowing up, so keep blowing up with us. This was Football Scientific. Check out footballanalysis1.com. Read those articles. Reading is good for you, kids. CFLnewshub.com. Hamilton Tiger-Cats articles. Read those articles. You never know what you're going to find in those. Reading is good for you, kids. UFLnewshub.com. Check out the UFL news. We're getting ready to fire this thing up. The schedule comes out Thursday, so we'll see how that looks. That'll be a source of some good articles, hopefully, by me and others. And then like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. We keep blowing up. We're going to be on TikTok live here in a few minutes, so thanks for joining us. Football Scientific, the portal is closing now.